What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, readoptionagency.com, 22 years selling full-time on eBay. And it's Friday, and been going round and round, well, just dealing with these unfair negative feedbacks. It hasn't motivated me really today to do much, so I figured I'll break up my day and come down and do a little evening shipping. So I got everything pulled. I'm just going to ship some of it and talk about a few things. It seems like I offended more people, and I use that term very loosely because they may not have been offended, but ruffled feathers of more people not talking about somebody specific than I did when I used to talk about people specific. But anyway, when I said, when I was talking about comparing my store with no cost of goods with a store that, say, did $50,000, and then I brought in $12 cost of or average sale price, and was doing just this simple math in my head, just comparing two different businesses. Or even you could look at it as comparing my business to the way it was when as I was building it to where it is now. So you could have looked at it either way. But I was just pulling numbers out of thin air, and there's been like 3 people so far that thought I was talking about them of some sort. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. But I guess it's going to be what it's going to be. But no, it wasn't talking about anybody. I think I kind of went back and watched it, and I felt that what I was saying kind of felt, the whole video for me was like, it felt like a very reminder video to myself, like where I was when I started talking about trying to figure things out, the homeless situation thing, to today. And the whole video was based around me. So why would I drag anyone particular into that? I don't know. But the video was just basically me reminding myself where I am and what it took to get here. Because, getting here was not an easy feat. Before the business, and even building the business the way it is as of today, none of that was an easy feat. That's why I have to keep reminding myself that today I'm sitting better with my life as a whole, better than any part of my past. And I could be dead tomorrow, not take it for granted and just keep remembering to enjoy the moment, to enjoy today. So yeah, the video is very self-feeding. So yeah, it wasn't going after anybody else. So if you got offended, there it is. So, but or just even thought it was about you, whatever the case may be. Don't necessarily have to be offended, but let's see, I'm just going to do some of this easy stuff, but I'll show you everything. Just more getting this easy stuff knocked out, I guess. Cool. But yeah, it was all that. One thing I do find weird, and this will be pointing out 2 different people, but no need to say names, but 2 different resellers, 2 different business owners. One was on the last video, and then one has been said to me in the past by another person, maybe even 3 different people. And their comment was, what I've done, you cannot do today. Pee-wee! I'm over here. They say, what I've done, you cannot do today. And that statement just makes me scratch my head. What you doing? Because as a business owner, and for me, not just a business owner, but life as itself, can't was never part of my vocabulary. And can't, if you're a business owner, can't shouldn't be any part of your vocabulary. If you want to do something, it can be done, depending on your level of commitment and sacrifice. You know, like I've said before, getting to this point, building it this far, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of sacrifice. When you're putting just about every dollar you make back into your business, that's sacrifice. Yes, I was taking a payroll, and that was also adding, to the debt at times. So it entailed a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work to create it. And for anyone who says you can't do this today, I say, yeah, you can. Would I recommend it? No, not really, because it's not an easy road. You have to be fully committed and young enough to pull it off, right? Or naive enough to pull it off. Whichever one you want to look at, way you want to look at it. Because I was 30, so I guess that technically wasn't young, but I was definitely naive and or crazy, but I was able to pull it off. It could be done today. And I would beg to differ that it could probably be done easier today than it could have been before, because one, you have everything at your fingertips. I didn't have that for the majority of the purchases. You have more outlets and wholesale stuff nowadays than you had before. So yeah, I would argue that it's probably even easier to do it today than yesterday. But like I said, what's your level of commitment and your level of work ethic to put into it to make it happen? Anything's possible. So when somebody says it can't be done, I beg to differ. I will argue that just because as a business owner, can't should not be in your vocabulary. It should be, okay, if I want to, how do I do it? And then figuring it out and doing something that nobody's ever done before. How many people on YouTube, how many resellers on YouTube do you know are living with X amount of storage lockers totally paid off from years of collecting, with probably over 1 million pieces of inventory sitting in storage paid for? The only other person I can think of offhand, and that's just because I know, is like Renee from Bargain Hunters, because the way he runs his business was kind of the way I ran mine. And I learned that like maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, because he had made a video from a couple of his storage places. And you could tell the money he was bringing in was basically paying for everything. And he probably even said that at one point. So he's the only other person I think who's probably sitting on paid for inventory. But you got to look at the size of him. I mean, this, not him personally, but his business, right? He went all in. He worked hard to create that. Just as I did. Like I said, I even did it raising 2 kids and only slept 4 hours a night. And I was able to at that age. I mean, now I couldn't pull it off. Not, at least not the sleep part of it anyway, and actually be productive. But yeah, it can be done. And I think, got some Converse here that sold for $12, headed to Portland, Oregon. And I'm trying to think, like, if there was a way to show you guys it could be done. So my mind's running right now, like, could I create a video series that shows you it can be done today? Let me give that more thought. Because anything's possible, like I said, if you want to do it. Because if I did something like that, I would literally have to get another storage locker. So it'd be basically like starting from scratch. Start with a certain amount of money. But do I really want to do that at this point in my life? But let me give it some thought, because I definitely don't want another storage locker full of stuff. But I also want to show you it can be done if you want to do it. And it could not only be done easier, I could do it smarter today than I did then. And that might benefit you guys. Wooden Ship CD. Sold for $14.40. Headed to Walnut Creek, California. I don't know. Let me give it some thought. I'm not promising anything, because I really don't need that kind. Need to. I mean, even if I could just do it on one, maybe I could just do it on one type of item. Not even like a mix of everything, because like through the years, I did it like in storage. I've got everything from clothes to CDs to cassettes to 8-tracks to toys to video games to just odds and ends. I mean, purses. I mean, everything. Shoes. That might be an easier way to do it, is to hone in on one type of item or one genre or something. But yeah, as a business person, never say can't. Never say that. You should never put that mental block in your head. The Wren's CD sold for $5, headed to Fort Worth, Texas. Because once you put the word can't in your vocabulary, it becomes too easy to use. It becomes an excuse. It becomes a crutch. It becomes a liability. That's probably the best word for it. Can't is a liability. Mark Berry. So yeah, never say can't. Never say can't. There's always a way. I got a Netherlands here and a UK and Australia. So the buyer who left me, I think it's 7 negative feedbacks on the one package that disappeared in Switzerland. We got this Beatles CD, sold for $6, headed to Sparta, Kentucky. The tracking number now says, what is it? I don't remember the exact terms. Basically, it's an address problem. There's not enough. It's lacking the full address, which is weird, because I looked at it on eBay and it looks pretty solid. But I don't know Saudi Arabia, as well as, I didn't look into it, basically. So what's missing on the address, I don't know. So the actual tracking number now does say that there is an address problem. So before, if I would have got negative for that, eBay would have removed that also, because that shows it was there. It was sent to the address, the place that is, or it's at least headed to the place where it's supposed to go. Maybe that was something that they just did as a courtesy, though, in the past. But it's something they used to do for me. If an item was not picked up because of they didn't want to pay their import tax, or if there was a bad address, delivery failed type of thing, they would always remove those negatives for me. So I sent in the thing on those 7 negative feedbacks and decline on all of them. So I was speaking with somebody on eBay for Business on Facebook, and they wanted to know what the item numbers were. So I literally gave them all the problem childs. I even had one that somebody opened a return on. Then they closed the return and was still able to leave a negative feedback. Now, I have free returns, so once you open a return, once it's closed, they're not allowed to. It's not supposed to let them leave feedback. So that was another one I gave them. I gave them those 7 saying they were sent there. I gave them the one that said they didn't want to pay, or they had to pay $9 for the import fees, which that one in the past was always removed. So I gave that to them, and I explained every one of them to them and broke it all down. And then the 3 that the person said did not receive, tracking shows delivered. So I gave them everything and broke it all down. So what's going to become of it, I do not know. I am not going to expect anything. So that way I'm not disappointed. It's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, if you look at my numbers and stuff, it's not like getting 10 negative feedbacks in 1 month is going to really hurt your sales. So I know not to worry about it, but even after 22 years, I still worry about it because it's my business, right? I try to do the right things. And the person with the address problem, I even refunded them the money, hoping I wouldn't get a negative, but knowing that I'm probably going to get that product back eventually. DuPont Motorsports, headed to Pennsylvania, sold for $7. So I always try to do the right thing and put myself in the buyer's shoes. And even though that one wasn't my fault, I went ahead and refunded them anyway. And maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have waited for them to open item not received case, and eBay would have sided with me and not gave them the money back, just as they did with the other one today. So maybe I made a mistake there by being a little too nice, especially being that they left negative anyway, no matter what. So I guess if anything, that just tells me maybe I was a little too nice, a little too naive or whatever. So next up, we got this Radiohead sticker, old promo sticker from 2001. Sold for $9, headed to Oak View, California. So, I don't know. Don't know what to say. eBay's a funny place nowadays. Apparently YouTube is also. Leave. And the amount of people who came at me on that video this morning, just because just the normal troll comments that came on it. And now I just block those people. If you don't want to watch my channel, stop making new accounts just to watch my channel. We have this Callaway hat. Headed to Washington, Indiana, sold for $9. Just amazes me. I mean, I don't spend my time anywhere I don't want to be. Hell, I don't even spend my time where I do want to be. I mean, I would like to watch and support more people on YouTube. But I know if I do, it just distracts me and I don't get work done. So I don't even put in time where I want to, let alone where I wouldn't want to. So that never really makes sense to me. Carry. Like even with a simple task of going live or something like that, you know. America, we grow beer hat. Sold for $16.20. Headed to Stapleton, Alabama. People are strange when you're a stranger. I don't know. All I can worry about is what I do. You know? Do the best with what you got. Try to be a decent person. I forgot to pull that, didn't I? I did. Let me remove that one and get that one later. Next up, Spike TV. Remember Spike TV? Headed to San Francisco for $7. That's the Paramount channel today, ain't it? I believe so. Humdy hum. And a bottle of rum. It's been a weird day. Very weird day. Very non-motivating day also. This was just put up yesterday, I think. Actually, most of these CDs were just put up recently. Sound of the 90s. This was put up yesterday, actually. Sold for $10, headed to Irvine, California. So, with the CD thing, going from 15,000 to 20,000 CDs in my store, that goal I'm working on. If I did what I do, a little over 1,000, 1,100-ish today, or this past week. So if I put 25% more CDs in my store, will my money made go up 25%? So if I'm making $4,000-ish a month, then that would be, the goal would be $5,000-ish a month, which would be about $333. No, I'm dividing that by 3, not 4. So it'd be $250 a week. So it's $1,100 to do like $1,400, almost $1,400 a week in CD sales would be the goal. And that would be about the 25% increase in sales. So if I get to 20,000 and I'm doing, just call it $1,400 a week in CD sales, then adding 25% more CDs took my money made up 25%. So I got to remember that. So that's the goal. So we'll see if building on eBay is still achievable as it once was in this new era, and with the technical issues and all that kind of stuff. Is it still capable of building in the same way that I used to build. So it'd be a nice test. Princessy labels. I still got more here, but I'll do those later. Or Adrian could do them later, since he's home this weekend. But I'll show you what they are. Knock some out just to do something a little different for the day. Got a Blues game starting in 4 minutes anyway. Since it's going to be we're down to the last 3 games of the season, so I've got 3 more hockey games to watch, because I doubt there's a 99.9% chance we're not making the playoffs, so. If we lose tonight, it's definitely 100% over. So, mathematically. And we're playing a better team, so. But I worry more about the teams we're better than, because we seem to lose more of the games we shouldn't lose than the games we may lose. We've got this Chicago Bears panoramic puzzle. That sold for $10. Got this cool Nike hat that converts into a visor also. Has a zipper right down the middle. Convertible 2-in-1 visor hat. This sold for $35. So, good bins find right there to remember. See the Nike hat with a zipper down the middle? Grab it. Another one of my fake boxes. I took an offer for $8 on that. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those still left. What did I start with? 21, I think, or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember now. I don't know. USS John Paul Jones sold for $13.50. Got a PlayStation t-shirt I got to pull. That sold for $16. Got a Supporting Heroes t-shirt. Sold for $12. Got a hat that's been in my store for 7-ish years or so. St. Louis Hardscape Materials and Supply. That's headed to Australia for $10. So probably like $6, somewhere in there. So that is all. And I got 2 True Gather sales I got to pull this weekend. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to watch hockey. Everybody have a good weekend if I don't see you. And have a good night. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later.